Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 2022 State of the City Address. My name is Dan Chapman, and I'm the Chief Administrator for the City of Kitchener. And let me tell you, we're thrilled to be back in person again this year and to see so many faces, hopefully smiling under those masks this morning. But as compared to last year when we had a single camera and an empty room for the State of the City Address. Today, we're really thrilled to be at the Conrad Centre for the Performing Arts, a wonderful community facility that was donated to the city last year by Manfred and Penny Conrad. Initially, it was home to theater and company, and more recently, the KW Symphony with support from Greenlight Arts. This very room has been the place where many of our region's finest performers have delivered moving and memorable moments. Within Make It Kitchener 2.0, we outlined a key ambition to create and nurture platforms for local difference makers to bring our city back to life. And what an amazing platform the Conrad Centre is. This generous donation will allow the city to continue to support and boost local artistic and creative talent in new ways. Recently, City Council approved a new grant program to subsidize the rental costs of this space to support live performance. We've already approved numerous applications, including a 2-week performance this fall by KW Musical Productions. I want to thank the Conrad family and their foundation once again for this remarkable donation that will help build and transform our downtown and Kitchener's entire arts and culture community. We made a promise to the Conrads that we would bring this building to life, and we're so excited to fulfill that promise in years to come. Before we continue with introductions this morning, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Vrbanovic for a territorial acknowledgement and special guest, Clarence Kakagi, to provide his reflections and a song. Mayor Vrbanovic.
Well, thank you very much, Dan. Over the past few years, many of us have settled on these lands on which we are present this morning, and which we now call home, have embarked on a journey of learning, understanding, and reconciliation with the Indigenous people we share these lands with today. This morning, this State of the City event is taking place at the Conrad Centre for the Performing Arts in the heart of downtown Kitchener. Whether we're here watching it in person or watching it virtually from the comfort of our own homes, the City of Kitchener, and in fact, all of the region of Waterloo, is situated on the traditional lands of the neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples. As a community gathered here this morning, we recognize our shared responsibility to serve as stewards for the land and honor the original caretakers who came before us. Our community is enriched by the enduring knowledge and deep-rooted traditions of the diverse First Nations, Métis, and Inuit in Kitchener today. Over my lifetime, I've come to know some of this land's original caretakers, the strong women and men who we now walk on this territory with and on Turtle Island with. In recent years, as we've embarked on the learnings and work required by us as civic leaders and as a city, the group of people I have come to know and respect has grown, and I'm honored to now include in that group Clarence Kakagi, who comes from the people of the Mushkegowuk. Today, Clarence works at Conestoga College as an Indigenous Services Coordinator, but he is also the founder and visionary of Crow Shield Lodge, an Indigenous land-based healing space for all nations built upon the 4 pillars of education, healing, reconciliation, and land stewardship. Some of you may remember Clarence as he provided the Indigenous reflection at the start of the community members who were part of last year's State of the City virtual address. Last fall, I was able to spend some time with him again, this time at Crow Shield Lodge, and through my own learnings, come to aspire to be grounded in Crow Shield Lodge's mission, built upon the 7 grandfather teachings of respect, truth, wisdom, honesty, humility, courage, and love. I encourage all of you to explore opportunities for your own learnings at this wonderful facility right here in our region. Clarence, thank you for being here with us today and for the gift you are to our community. As we gather today to reflect on where we have been and where we're going, I'd like to offer you this tobacco to provide us with some of your knowledge and reflections and a song to commemorate our coming together this morning.
Wache ane buju sego. I am Kiwe Tinwe in the Ne. That translates into North Windman. I'm from the people of the Mushkegowuk, people of the river, Fox Lake Reserve, Chapleau Cree First Nation, Bear Clan, and I am a beautiful person. Thank you so much for this, Barry. This means so much. Tobacco was the first medicine that was gifted to us as Indigenous people. This medicine keeps us connected to the spirit of people, places, and things. And we give tobacco out of acknowledgement and respect. So thank you. I wanted to present you with something, Barry. And what I have here is a tail feather of a hawk, of a red-tailed hawk. And this is direction. They use this for direction. But what the qualities of this feather are: strength, guardianship, and farsightedness. And Barry has all of those qualities and values. So I would like to present you with this. All right. So, belonging. And what does Kitchener mean to me? Well, I'm not from here, but I was born here. So how does that work? How does that work, that I'm not from here, but I was born here? Well, that works because I'm part of the 60 Scoop, and I was displaced at a very young age. And that's how I ended up in this beautiful place that we call Waterloo Region. You know, I was here for lunch a few days ago, and I was having lunch with a community member at Coffee Culture. And as I was sitting there, I had this warm sense just flow over me and wash over me. And that warm sense was belonging. And that warm sense that washed over me was a connectedness that I have to Kitchener. And when I talk about connectedness, I always have to talk about where we fit in that circle of life. Barry gave an amazing territorial acknowledgement. He was talking about land stewardship. He was talking about the territories and the nations that were here before us. And I just want to piggyback off of that. As we talk about those territories and nations that were here before us, I always want to acknowledge our connectedness. Our connectedness to the two-legged, our connectedness to the four-legged, to the winged ones, to the swimmers, to the crawlers. I want to acknowledge our connectedness to the four winds, to all of the plants, and to the trees, and to the rocks and the minerals and the mountains and the rivers and the streams and the oceans, all within that circle of life as an equal. So as I acknowledge that, I want to honor the relationship that I have with Kitchener-Waterloo. The best way that I can honor that relationship is to sing an honor song. And this song is about the eagle. The song is about hearing the eagle, seeing the eagle, and taking the eagle with us in our hearts. And the qualities of the eagle are vision and strength. I'm going to ask you to stand if you could. And if you're wearing a hat, could you please take it off? This is the best acknowledgement and gift that I can give to you. I also want to acknowledge all of my teachers and mentors. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today. Way hey, 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 Mega Zegi wa Maya, Mega Zegi wa Ma, Giwa Ma, Giwa Ma, Mega Zeya, Giwa Ma, ya. Way hey, way hey, way hey, way hey, way hey, way hey, way Mega Zeginon Dwaya, Mega Zeginon Dwa, Ginon Dwa, Ginon Dwa, Mega Zeya, Ginon Dwa, ya. Way hey, 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 Mega Zegit Kwanaya, Mega Zegit Kwana, Git Kwanaha, Mega Zeya, Git Kwanaya, ya. Way hey, 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 When we drum, you can sit down now. Thank you. When we drum, it's a form of prayer. So it was an honor for me to sing and to pray for you and for us and for creation today. I also want to thank everybody who is here today and everybody who is online for tuning in and for gifting us some of your time. I believe the best gift we can ever give anybody is the gift of our time. It's a piece of our lives that we're never going to get back again. So with saying that, I want to say thank you. Jimmy Gwich, Inaskomaten, Aho.
Thank you, Clarence, for your reflections and for making time to be here with us today. I'd also like to thank the KW Chamber for partnering with us on another State of the City event this morning. The Chamber's longtime support to the city has been tremendous and is truly appreciated. Kitchener's State of the City events have supported the Kitchener-Waterloo Community Foundation for many years. As always, proceeds from this year's event will go towards the Kitchener Mayor and Council Fund, which provides flexible support for a wide variety of community needs. As many of you know, this is an exciting time in our region with the anticipated unification of Cambridge and North Dumfries Community Foundation and Kitchener-Waterloo Community Foundation. We look forward to seeing even greater impact in Kitchener and across the community as the new organization builds on the natural and long-standing relationships we have across all cities and townships within the region. I'll now pass it over to Elizabeth Heald, President and CEO of the Kitchener-Waterloo Community Foundation, for some brief remarks.
Thank you so much, CIO Chapman, and thank you to the City of Kitchener and Mayor Barry Vrbanovic for inviting me to share some brief remarks. Welcome to everyone attending both virtually and live and in person. This is awesome. Proceeds from the ticket sales, as mentioned from today's State of the City event, will again go to the Kitchener Mayor and Council Fund at the Kitchener-Waterloo Community Foundation. This fund was established in 2004 to help support a wide range of needs in our community. Kitchener-Waterloo Community Foundation is a charitable foundation that activates donor dollars to build community and tackle Waterloo Region's biggest challenges. We accomplish this by granting impact investing, and mobilizing residents and organizations to catalyze philanthropy as a tool for change. As an example of the great work the Kitchener Mayor and Council Fund supports, last year, the grants from this fund were awarded to local organizations that are led by and serve people who are Black, Indigenous, and people of color through our Racial Equity Fund at KWCF. Organizations like Crow Shield Lodge, the African Family Revival Organization, Coalition of Muslim Women Kitchener-Waterloo, and Project UP, Unleash Potential. I also want to thank the city for your support of the Arts Grants Fund at KWCF. Approximately $250,000 in arts grants were distributed last year, and this included $75,000 in funding provided by the City of Kitchener, specifically to assist arts organizations recover from the impacts of COVID-19. Mayor Barry, I know that today you'll be sharing many of the city's accomplishments over the last year. I specifically wanted to congratulate you on your Housing for All strategy, as well as your corporate strategy on equity, anti-racism, and Indigenous reconciliation, two key priorities that align so closely with the work of KWCF. Thank you for your continued support of Kitchener-Waterloo Community Foundation and your commitment to creating caring communities where everyone thrives. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Before Mayor Vrbanovic brings today's address, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge some of the elected officials who are joining us today. With us, we have federal members of Parliament Mike Morris and Valerie Bradford. I'd like to extend a welcome to our own City of Kitchener councillors, Dave Schneider, Christine Michaud, Kelly Galloway-Seelock, Paul Singh, Bill Ionitis, Scott Davey, Margaret Johnston, Debbie Chapman, Sarah Marsh, and John Gazzola, who is attending virtually this morning. From Regional Council, we're joined by Regional Chair Karen Redmond and Regional Councillors Jim Erb, Waterloo Mayor Dave Jaworski, Cambridge Mayor Catherine McGarry, and North Dumfries Mayor Sue Foxton. From our Waterloo Catholic School Board, we're joined by Trustees Bill Conway, Brian Schmaltz, Melanie Van Alphen, and Tracy Weiler. From the Waterloo Region District School Board, we are joined by Trustees Kathleen Woodcock and Joanne Weston. From City of Cambridge, Councillor Mike Mann, and from City of Waterloo, Councillor Sandra Hanner. I'd also like to acknowledge former Kitchener Mayor Carl Zaire, who's in attendance again this year, as he is every year, and also wish him a belated happy birthday, which I understand was celebrated yesterday. Happy birthday, Mayor Zaire. But it's now my pleasure to introduce Mayor Barry Vrbanovic to provide his heartfelt remarks on behalf of Kitchener City Council. Mayor Vrbanovic.
Imagine this. You're a resident with a passion for amplifying underrepresented voices in Waterloo Region. Supporting Black entrepreneurs is a great way to make it happen. So, using a federal grant, you help bring together local post-secondary institutions, the Waterloo Region Small Business Centre, and the City of Kitchener. Bringing these major players together results in impressive collaboration that helps to focus resources and funding on Black talent and Black startups. This is just the beginning of something bigger. Imagine this. You're someone who knows what it is like to live on the streets. You know how it feels to worry about your next meal, the cold weather, where you're going to sleep. It's been a long, hard road, but you managed to climb out of poverty, go to university, and start a career. Now you want to give back to help those who are still vulnerable. So you join community organizations and city advisory committees to share your experiences and your vision. Your ideas help to shape city strategies that make a real difference in bringing new affordable housing to Kitchener. Your voice has a real impact on the lives of our community's most vulnerable. Imagine this. You're a cycling enthusiast with young children. You're passionate about encouraging your family and community to live a more active lifestyle. But it makes you nervous to take your kids on a ride through some of Kitchener's car-filled streets. For years, you've used community trail networks so you can bike with your kids to school. But the trails don't go everywhere. So you speak up about it. You advocate for separated cycling lanes. And eventually, when they're installed in your neighborhood, you and your kids have new destinations available to you. The downtown, with all its parks and businesses, are accessible to your family by bike. You can make the choice to cycle instead of using your car. You've been part of an important change in our community. These are the people of Kitchener. Real stories about real people. People with passion and impact. These are the people that make the work of local government come alive. The change makers who share their hopes and dreams, their ideas, their frustrations, and their vision. That engage with local government, pitch ideas, collaborate, advocate, and partner. That come together with us for a brighter future. I invite you to become a change maker, to raise your hand and raise your voice, to join us in local government. Together, we can make a difference in this community. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Those who are here in person and those who are watching virtually. Thank you, Clarence, for joining us again this year and sharing your wisdom with us as we walk together in healing and reconciliation. And I'm truly humbled by the presentation of the feather this morning. Miigwech. Thank you, Dan, for your kind introduction earlier and for the leadership you have shown together with our city's corporate leadership team, not just over the past year, but in fact, over the past 2 years of the pandemic. And thank you to my council colleagues who are here in person and who are joining us virtually. It has been a privilege to serve our community together with each of you through these challenging 2 years of COVID-19. Combined, these two groups, together with almost 2,200 other people, have been the foundation of public service at the municipal level over the past 2 years serving our community. And I've been honored to have the privilege to walk this journey together with each of you. Finally, to Elizabeth, as you plan your departure from the foundation and prepare the foundation teams to unify, I want to say a heartfelt thank you for all that you and your team at the Kitchener-Waterloo Community Foundation has done for our community over the years. This includes funding arts and culture, emergency support for our not-for-profits, and support for equity-deserving groups. You have truly played an important role in our community and inspired so much change. On behalf of council and staff, thank you for your partnership over the past 5 years, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Let's face it, the past 2 years have been really tough. Many of us have lost loved ones, lost livelihoods, lost our connections to family, friends, and colleagues. COVID-19 threw unanticipated twists and turns into our lives, postponed weddings, missed graduation ceremonies, and online school. Many struggled with isolation and loneliness, while others have carried far heavier burdens of deep inequity, financial hardship, mental health challenges, substance use, and domestic violence. We have stayed apart out of necessity, but too often that distance has grown into deep-rooted divisions. Too often the pandemic has become a flashpoint as our emotions bubbled to the surface. And just when we thought the worst was over, our world was thrust into yet another global challenge, the war launched by the Russian government against Ukraine, and in many ways, the rest of the world. While this war is being fought thousands of miles away, it is having a painful impact on many in our own community. First and foremost, our Ukrainian Canadian neighbors, but also many others who are reliving conflicts from their home countries in Eastern Europe, the Middle East, North Africa, Southeast Asia, and more. As we cope with this new conflict, begin adapting to this next phase of the pandemic, and work our way towards a new normal, I am optimistic that we can also begin to heal. As individuals, as a community, and as a nation, to look for the things that unite us rather than divide us. That doesn't mean brushing aside our differences. It doesn't mean going back to the way things were, but it does mean looking beyond the horizon to a shared future with common interests. It means calling on our resilience as individuals and as a community. Locally, this means coming together to move forward to a Kitchener where we all belong, where businesses can thrive, artists can create, families can grow. At our core, Kitchener is a caring community. We have a long history of coming together in hard times, of reinventing ourselves after we're knocked down, adapting, rebuilding, and lending a helping hand to those who need it. We have done it before. I know we can do it again. We need to come together as a community, and we need you to come together with us in local government. We rely on your voices and your passion to make change. Like never before, we're working to tackle big issues at a local level: climate change, economic innovation, and social justice. We are building collaborative engagement practices with Indigenous communities to advance and deepen our commitment to reconciliation. We recognize our role in dismantling anti-Black racism within our organization, and are building processes that directly counteract racist actions, policies, and systems. We are partnering with 2S LGBTQ+ communities to provide safe spaces to access services, participate in decision-making, and contribute to our community. We're also building better neighborhoods, parks and community centers that bring us together, roads, trails, and bike lanes that connect us, arts and culture that inspires us. Together, we can make change for a brighter future. Despite the many challenges we have faced, when I look back over the years, I'm truly proud of what we have accomplished together as a community. The pandemic forced us to come together in new and different ways. Who knew we could adapt, pivot, and reimagine so much? We've seen moments of hope, humor, and creativity. When we couldn't be together in person, we found ways to keep our connections virtually. We cheered on our frontline workers and healthcare heroes from our doorsteps. We took care of our most vulnerable residents, and we kept our local businesses going with curbside pickup and online support. These silver linings have shone a light on our humanity, pulled us together, and shown us the power of our own resilience. As I look ahead to the future, I'm filled with hope and optimism for this city. Kitchener is changing, growing, evolving, and it's exciting to see. Our differences are what make this city come alive. From Dune South to Forest Heights to downtown Kitchener, from Stanley Park to Bridgeport to Williamsburg, every corner of this city is part of our city. We speak many languages, love different foods, enjoy unique traditions. We're homebodies and party people, innovators and side hustlers. We're daily grinders and adventurers, transit takers and cyclists and car lovers. We're activists and futurists and feminists. We're all different, but we're all Kitchener. Together, we call this city home, and we have a common desire to see Kitchener flourish and grow, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. Your City of Kitchener Council and staff share that same desire. 4 years ago, we outlined a bold vision for this community, a vision for people-friendly transportation, a healthy community, a vibrant economy, a caring city, and great customer service for our citizens. We had lofty goals, big ideas, and a genuine desire to build an innovative, caring, and vibrant Kitchener. Let's take a look now at some of the ways we have made change in our community. There's something special about this city.
Our community and our world have faced some of the biggest challenges of our lifetimes. But if you take a look around, you'll see
we're a community with a knack for finding balance.
With cutting-edge innovation
and small-town streets.
For finding inspiration in the ordinary
and the extraordinary.
But most of all, we're a community with a long history of coming together to make change.
Over the past 4 years, we've been working with citizens and community partners
to make Kitchener a more innovative, vibrant, and caring city. We've been
celebrating local arts and culture
and cheering on our home teams.
We're finally coming back together to share a meal and listen to live music at our favorite spots.
We've been collaborating with residents to build livable neighborhoods that are full of character and full of life.
With new places to connect and play.
We're taking meaningful action within our organization and in the community to make sure
every person in our city feels welcome
and has a voice.
We're making sure everyone has equitable access to city services.
In any language, on demand.
We're building networks of bike lanes and new trail connections to help you get around the city.
Whether you're walking, riding, or rolling.
We're rethinking how we design, build, and use our roads to be safer for everyone who uses them.
And that's why we're lowering the speed limits in residential neighborhoods and school zones.
The skyline of Kitchener is changing.
As the city grows faster than ever before.
We're making important decisions about the way we grow.
In our core and across the city.
While we grow, we're
bringing new life into old spaces.
And making sure we have a mix of housing types
that works for every family.
We've been supporting our growing economy during the challenges of the pandemic,
including providing grants for businesses
and keeping taxes low.
We're going green to protect our environment for future generations.
From using electric fleet vehicles to making our buildings more energy efficient.
We're beating our emission goals.
And doubling down on our sustainable investments.
We've been doing all of this and more together as a community.
As we look forward to the next 4 years and beyond,
we encourage all of you
to work with us
and our community partners
to build a better Kitchener
together.
Even while managing through all of the changes brought on by the COVID-19 global pandemic. But I also know there is so much work to be done. This is an exciting time for our city. As one of the fastest growing regions in our country, regularly punching above our weight in the provincial and national economy, Kitchener and Waterloo region have been a real success story. As we adjust to the pandemic and begin to build back better and differently, Kitchener is on the precipice of exciting change and an even more promising future. The decisions we make today are defining moments that will shape our city for many years to come. These are our moments of truth, to come together with you, our citizens, partners, community builders, and change makers to shape the future of this city that we all love. Together, we're making decisions about how we play, connect, and get around in our neighborhoods, about drinking water, fire protection, and service expectations. We're investing in arts and culture and working to boost up our local economy. We're choosing to grow up and limit sprawl. Sometimes the decisions we make are tough. Sometimes they're not popular with everyone, but they're always made with a genuine desire to do the best for our city, for everyone, not just for the residents of today, but also for those future generations that will follow us. We're not making these decisions alone. Working together with residents and partners, with all of you, is how we've always done it, and that's how we are committed to move into the future. We're collaborating with tech, education, and business partners to build a Sustainable Development Goals Lab, a first of its kind incubation space for entrepreneurs and startups focused on equity and environmental innovation. We're partnering with 29 residents, business owners, and community stakeholders to shape our vision for the future of downtown Kitchener. This community-led transformation will help create a downtown core that is embraced by everyone, where residents and businesses thrive and everyone belongs. We're working with other orders of government, community groups, the not-for-profit sector, developers, and citizens to create more housing opportunities in our city and increase housing options across the continuum. We want Kitchener to have strong and diverse neighborhoods where everyone can thrive, have a place to call home, and love their hood. We're making change today, and we invite you to join in. Step up, speak up, and raise your voice. Whether you provide input to our strategic plan, volunteer, serve on a citizens committee, delegate to council, provide feedback on Engage Kitchener, or attend a public meeting, these are small but powerful actions that have a big impact, that bring us together and hold us accountable. I invite you to join us in local government, in your city, in your community, to define the priorities that will have a meaningful impact on Kitchener's future. Thank you again to everyone for being here today, in person and online. Thank you to all those involved in making today's in-person and virtual event happen, especially to our communications, Office of Mayor and Council, and special event teams, our hosts here at the Conrad Centre. Together, we can make a difference in this community, and together, we can all be part of something bigger. Thank you very much.